Welcome everybody to the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. Your home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. What's up, fellas?
What's going
What's
on?
going on? Happy Saturday.
What's up?
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? We got a lot going on today. We got Yankees Twins this weekend. We got Mets out in Oakland. We got Knicks playoffs, Nets players, NBA players going on. But you know what we're here for? Some good old fashioned wrestling.
Yep.
So let's get right into it. Let's break all this down. Busy week. Busy week. A lot of surprises, a lot of rumors, a lot of expectations, and a special return. The blessings. But let's get right to it first. We have, I guess you want to call it 14 days approximately until the WWE draft.
Yep.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think SmackDown is first, and then that's going to continue over to Raw. So
Yeah.
SmackDown
Okay.
would be like night one, and then Raw would be
The
night
wording
two.
was a little confusing though, because they said it takes 2 weeks on SmackDown, then 2 Raws after that. I think what everybody was thinking is that it's the draft happening on SmackDown, then it won't happen for 2 more weeks on Raw. No, it's happening simultaneously. So what's going to happen is SmackDown gets the first pick, and then Raw get the second pick. No NXT involved, which is disappointing, but I get it.
I think NXT will get involved, like in terms of like call ups.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think
Those who are
Uh,
going to be in the main roster will get the call. That's about
yeah,
it. They're going to
yeah.
swap people around. I guess if you're not drafted, you're going to be sent to NXT most likely, which is
I would
fine.
I
But
would
that's
say
like you don't
like
have to say you're being demoted essentially.
yeah, I would say like pay real close attention to the storylines in NXT for potential call ups. Like for example, like Roxanne Perez, she was mentioned on SmackDown or on Raw, one of those two. Um, and then she has no program going forward. I mean, yeah, she's gonna face Zoe Stark, but she's a potential call up. I thought for
It makes a lot
sure.
of sense. I agree with that.
Yeah, I thought Braun Breaker was another one, but now with his heel turn, I don't think he's fully done with NXT.
Well, I think he can technically go to main roster. Remember, there has been wrestlers that worked NXT and worked the main roster double duty, so that could be that to sort of finish the feud too. So
So I mean, we'll see how that goes. Everything that's gonna be predicated around the draft can be Raw and SmackDown. So if they get called up, then
so we got to think about who's going to really go up from NXT, who hasn't been used, or people who's sort of in flux in NXT. We got Cameron Grimes being one name. He
Yeah,
hasn't been
we
used in a
haven't
while.
heard from him in a while.
He's a name that could go up to the roster. Um, Roderick Strong, I know he haven't heard from him in a while, but that's another name that could maybe finally make that jump with Triple H being there. I could see the whole Diamond Mine actually really going up. I think they're pretty much ready. I think they pretty much did all the feuds they had to in NXT. Indy Hartwell is another one I think eventually will go up. I think they're, like I said, she's more of a transitional champion there
Okay.
that should transition to somebody else and go to the main roster because I think they need that depth, especially with AEW's women division getting stronger and stronger every week.
what's the thing? Is it are we gonna see WWE finally saying that they're competing with AEW because they're trying to match the division to division,
I think
especially the women's division?
there's some competition there. I think they won't like, acknowledge it, but there definitely is.
We all know that it's competition, but they won't say it. So that's what we're waiting to find out. Okay, like AEW said we're in competition with WWE. Like, oh, there's no competition between us and AEW. Meanwhile, AEW was killing them for a good 6-7 months straight at the time before Triple H took over, and then everything
Yeah.
balanced out.
So
So
back to the draft topic real quick. I would just say this. I think this is where we get the titles finally split. I think maybe they'll introduce two new belts. I could see Roman getting a undisputed belt for SmackDown, which would be a combination of the world heavyweight title, which maybe it's the old big belt and the Universal. And then maybe Raw introducing a new title that's called something completely different, unless they want to go back to the.
bring back the world heavyweight.
Well, I think that's going to be
We
for
as fans want
SmackDown.
that back.
I think
I know I
SmackDown's going to
do.
get the world heavyweight. I think Raw they're going to retire the Universal, and they're going to make Roman Reigns still have the title reign and go from there. I think they're going to have two separate titles. Tag team titles, they have a chance to split that, so I think that's going to be split somehow too. How is maybe they do a match back in the day, which I uh, put on Facebook the Throwback Thursday, where they first time ever in 2009 they had matches determine who gets the draft pick. So maybe they do a match to determine who gets the belt for what respective brand. If the
some team wins the tag championship, and all of a sudden, boom, you've been drafted, and it's like, okay, there you go, there's your split.
Yep, and the Usos said it themselves. They didn't say undisputed tag team champions they want to be. They said they want to be tag champs. Why would you not say?
We'll see. It'll be interesting how
undisputed?
that plays out.
Yep.
Especially considering now
just-
you're putting that out into the world. You're manifesting it.
Yeah, I just
So,
think
it makes
it
sense.
kind of hurts the product when you have an undisputed champion. You know,
With a brand split.
and then a couple weeks ago, for example, like fans were kind of like panicking when you saw Bianca Belair being confronted by Rhea Ripley, and they're like, "God, no! Please don't let this happen." Because it just takes away opportunities from other superstars.
Maybe
As long as the wrestlers
reaction.
actually compete and not like when Brock had it and you didn't see the undisputed title being contested for about 5 months, like, bro, this is trash. Like, if you're gonna be an undisputed champ and you have all the belts, you are competing all the time. And that's the thing now. You want this, you want that, and it goes back to what the wrestlers want when it comes to a union. It's like, okay, you want this, you want that. Oh, I need days off. No, then you don't get the belt. That's just plain and simple. That's the IC championship was one of the best belts around because that was the working man's belt. That belt was being challenged every other week in a main event or close to it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I need days off. So drop the belt. I don't want to drop the belt. Well, then you got to work. That's how it goes.
I wonder if, like, with the draft, and you know how picky Fox gets, if they kind of demand Cody Rhodes that comes to SmackDown.
Well, then Roman would have to go to Raw, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. You just don't. You got to swap star power for star power.
They would be that picky to request both.
It depends.
Yeah, but they don't
Is
have-
USA dumb
don't think
enough
they have
to
that-
say no? We don't care. You take both superstars, both 1 and 2 on the roster.
They don't have the
You take them both.
leverage to do that right now. I don't think anybody does because we don't know what's going to happen with their media rights in 2024. So that's
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised because there was at one time where all the top superstars were on SmackDown.
yeah.
Back when
And
that
they-
happened,
can't-
especially with the Switch when
They
it
can't
became
build
the
stars
Ruthless
right
Wrestler.
now. Remember that. That's their main issue. They haven't been able to build stars. That's the problem I think a lot of us have with Vince. Yeah, he's a creative genius and he did a lot of stuff, but he's lost touch because he's more keen on pushing the same people over and over down everybody's throat instead of trying to establish new stars to keep programs growing.
Well, that's the other thing too.
We had the
Like,
Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression. We had so many up and coming stars and storylines and different things. Yeah, some of them were mid card, some of them were lower card, but you had established stars in each tier. Right now, we can't really say how many established stars we have in each thing. It's like we have the top, and then the middle and the bottom are sort of like meh.
That's the
But-
thing too, though. Like those guys as mid cards were there for years before they even got their shot. Like how many years was Eddie Guerrero on WWF, now WWE, before he got a shot? It was like 6 years before he became like something prevalent. Now fans are more like, oh, we want this to happen now. We want this to happen now. For example, we'll talk about LA Knight, for example. LA Knight has been progressing in NXT for a while, and now he's up to the main roster. Oh, he's got to go to the moon. There's a lot of people in front of him to do so. You're gonna have him. He's the one that's gonna jump everybody. Just for an example. Whereas others like Lars Sullivan, he just started. He just got on. Oh, this guy's gonna be the next world heavyweight champion. Hurts Jeff Hardy has like 2 more weeks on SmackDown and then falls off the grid. It's like, oh, what happened to this guy? Oh, this guy was a bum. Yeah, but y'all wanted to shoot him to the moon.
There's a
and
difference.
then
He had
that's what happens.
controversial. He had controversial.
Yeah, like you have
guys.
to. You need tenure. You need like that. Has to be, like you don't get promoted to the job without like you don't get promoted in 3 months.
He's still
When
controversial, but let's not get into
six
that.
other people were in front of you. They're there for years. Like there's tenure. So
I just think before we go on to the next topic, it all stems on their development with NXT.
exactly. Get your time down there first.
Because more than half of the superstars that are popular in WWE, they came from NXT. Roman Reigns, NXT. Seth Rollins, NXT. So you have some potentials in NXT, like Braun Breaker, which I think I think WWE has done a great job in creating him because if you compare Braun Breaker from his very first NXT episode to now, it's been a tremendous progression. And then
Mhm.
like I like the switch that they did with him because he was getting stale as a face. He was starting to get booed, and then you know what? Let's flip him heel. And so far it's done wonders. So it's just about like development and stuff like that. And again, it
Right.
all stems from NXT.
It takes time, and NXT is the perfect to do so. Otherwise, it took forever with Raw and SmackDown. Now NXT is a quote unquote third brand or a developmental brand. Now you're developing these guys. Can these guys start off red hot? Can these guys be strong? And now when you see that happen at NXT, then you'll see okay, these guys can do the main roster, and that's how it's going to be going from now on. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a developmental brand built in the first place. You just had three brands altogether.
Yeah.
So let's move forward.
We go on to the huge heel turn that happened on Monday Night SmackDown. That's how messed up I am. Monday Night Raw.
Speaking of which, there you go. We had it. How do you guys feel about random heel turns, or random to not random? They called it random, but it wasn't really random. You've seen this coming from a mile away.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like, all right, rumors had already broken that, the program was Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam. So it was like only a matter of time. And then we saw the whole situation where Lita randomly gets attacked. And we all knew it wasn't Damage Control because Damage Control are going through their own problems.
Yeah.
So, and then we knew they weren't going to turn Raquel and Liv heel just like that. So that only left one person, and that was Trish. But I got to be honest with you. It's I like it. I like it. It's fresh. And I think I wrote on Twitter, I was like, imagine if Lita turns heel too. Like if
Probably.
this was like a whole setup.
I thought she was
You're
injured.
gonna make Becky the babyface here,
Right, and then
and keep it that way?
and then have somebody kind of like join Becky. And I threw a suggestion out there, and that was Bailey.
So
And
Bailey leaves Damage Control.
well, they're already thinking about breaking up Damage Control. I mean, the seeds are being planted already with EO winning the triple threat number one contenders. And then if you look at Bailey's reaction, she was not happy with it. And then I think like during the match, like EO got like attacked somewhere, and then Bailey was kind of like seemingly happy about that or relieved about that. So the cracks are there, but the reason why I said Bailey and it's just a random name is because I think it just comes full circle with it finishes the storyline with her and Becky because there was so much history. And the fact that Bailey always said that she always wanted a one-on-one dream match with Lita.
Right.
So you probably get that match if that's the case, because the tag is going to break anything breaking up, obviously.
Yeah, I would do a double turn.
And then you keep Dakota and EO heel still.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, they might just break up in general. I mean, I would love to see EO and Dakota continue to tag because, again, they need more women tag teams in WWE. Again, like Liv Morgan and Raquel are just random tag teams put together.
But then, hear me out on this too. I just thought about it. What if you go back to the NXT roots and you get a Raquel to go back with Dakota as a tag team? That was a tag team for a while.
You can.
So what happens, Liv?
And then Liv goes back to being singles, which she wants anyway.
But
and then,
see, that
you also
just shows a lot of inconsistency with the.
You could build it slowly, though. You
forth.
don't have to do that. You could build it slowly because Raquel was successful as a heel with a tag team with Dakota.
I just see
heel face, but then you could also reunite Asuka and EO too as a tag team.
Yeah, I mean, if WWE plays their cards right, there's a lot of people that have history with each other that can be tag teams. Like you have Rhea Ripley, right? she's on a singles run, obviously, but maybe in the future you can have her pair up with Raquel. There's history there. You know, they were tag team in NXT. I think they were called R&R or something like that, but they were a tag team.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Dakota and Raquel. Maybe in the future, you know, they can get back together. Asuka and Io. That's another interesting one, you know. So there's potential for different, but going back to the huge heel turn, yeah, I mean, it was expected that Trish Stratus was going to turn heel. I just I'm interested to see how it all plays out, and to be honest, they're not supposed to face each other until SummerSlam. So I just wonder what are they going to do with this whole time span?
I have no idea, honestly.
Because SummerSlam is what, August?
Right around the corner.
What are we gonna get? Like a back and forth promo battles and whatnot?
You're gonna have to build something. Like it's just, what do you build? What's your first step? You, you got to find that out first, and that we have to see that actually happen first. We're like, okay, like I'm cool with this. Otherwise, you're gonna have this Ripley Charlotte build like they did for Mania.
Oh god, that's not.
I wonder
So
if
great match, but
wonder-
nothing behind it.
I wonder if we're gonna get another like Lita and Trish. Like,
We
I
might.
mean,
It's just like you look at it and it's like, well, is that what makes money? Is that a draw?
yeah. Well,
You know, like it's tough to say that, and it's just like, yeah, all of a sudden it gets closer. Then you got people gonna start flopping, and it's like, oh yeah, this is what we wanted. No, it wasn't. You wasn't saying this 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Oh, you know, I never thought that Becky and Lita were good. Stop it, because when they teamed up for the first time, it was fantastic. Yeah, she enjoyed the group, and then Trish, oh my god, yo, you know, Trish, them three, they could be the first trios women's team. No, bro, you were not saying this months ago, and now you're saying this now. This wasn't what you were doing before. Don't flop now for. What's the running jokes for the Knicks? Knicks for clicks? Yeah, you're doing something for clicks, all right. Like this isn't good. Do better. Be better.
Yeah.
we move on to a rather interesting topic, and that's Drew McIntyre's contract situation.
I told you he was gone.
Um,
I think he's gone.
pay, all I got to say is pay that man. Well, for those who don't know,
I think it's also creative too. There's nothing for him apparently.
yeah, which is I don't know. I think that it
is
just
weird.
baffles me. But he has gone rogue. He has blacked out his Twitter profile and removed all WWE references from his bio, and he is set to become a free agent during the summer. And a lot of people have been speculating that his move might be AEW. You know, that's where if he wants to get paid, because this is all about getting paid, that AEW would throw a major bag at him. Plus, with AEW's upcoming Wembley Stadium event over the summer, that's just
Big
around,
draw.
Yep, that's just around the corner where he becomes a free agent. And listen, another man's what?
One man's trash is the other man's treasure, baby.
Exactly. And it sucks because I feel like Drew McIntyre has held it down for WWE, you know, especially during the COVID era, you know, and I feel like WWE kind of has done him criminal because he became champion during COVID and there was no crowd. And, you know, that was just a rare, obviously those were rare times, you know, no crowds and whatnot. And I thought, you know what, I think WWE is going to do him good by having him, you know, champion. And I think, I don't know, I don't want to say they lost all hope on him, but it kind of like they have really nothing going forward for him. And again, it just it brings back to the fact that the undisputed champion, like, you really have to have two belts on Roman. Like, they need to move this quick. They need to give other guys opportunities.
Yeah.
because it's like that's what you're doing. You're taking away opportunities. Like for example, like with KO and Kevin Owens, love them as undisputed tag teams, but you know what? It's time to split the tag teams, split all
Have them
titles.
one belt. Obviously goes to the other. Stanley Roman. You're just gonna have your title reign be as is. You just had another belt be split being split elsewhere, whatever the case may be. It just let's call it how it is. If it wasn't for Drew McIntyre, we wouldn't have gotten to the point of having Roman Reigns come back during COVID. Drew McIntyre basically backpacked WWE through the COVID era. And we can call it the era now because now that, due to reports, COVID is finally done for good, thank God. But, yeah, like, this is what you do to the guy. And then you put him in a match where he's going to win, and he doesn't win. And then you have a Mania to win, he doesn't win. And it's like, so all he wanted was a Mania moment with the title. You said you want to give him a title, and you don't do that. And 3 years go by, and you haven't done anything to give him the reward. Thank you for doing a good job. Because everything's about giving back. Everything's about, returning value back to the wrestlers. And this is what you do? I think, and that's just the dumb way WWE works. Like, he paid his dues. He paid your dues. He paid the world dues. And for
I'm just hoping
3 hours
storyline.
Could be a part. I don't know. When it comes to contracts, it's like, is Drew the one that's going to be the one? Is Drew the one that you use as a contract situation?
I would say move him over to Raw. If you're gonna get a new title on Raw, have him feud with Cody Rhodes.
I mean, it's.
But is he going to beat Cody Rhodes?
No.
It could be in the future. It could be a long-term build-up.
So, but he doesn't want to wait no more. That's the problem. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind a Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre.
He just wants to get paid.
And you would pay a guy to do what?
Pay him more and then
not involved.
Well, yeah. Then you put him in. Then you put him in a different scene. Why not put him in a tag team title scene, and an Intercontinental and USA title for at least the US title thing. So at least you have him in 3 different.
But see, that's the whole thing. It's
but he doesn't want that.
No. Well, we obviously we don't know what he truly wants. We're all speculating that it's the money that he wants to get paid, and I think if this is legit real and he's like pissed off at whatnot, and this is not a storyline, then he's using this as leverage because he knows that AEW will pay him.
If he goes to AEW, where do you drop him in?
That's the problem. They're already stacked and they already have problems as it is with their booking and everything. So we don't really know.
Someone's on a rock and a hard place. If it's money, it's money. Money's not the problem because AEW don't care.
I think it's money and
money
creative.
back tenfold.
It's money and creative for McIntyre. But the problem is AEW can offer the money, but they've also dropped the ball a lot creatively with a lot of other wrestlers too. So I don't really know.
I don't know. All I know is it seems like if he leaves WWE,
it's a big loss.
It's a perfect fit for him to go to AEW, and especially ahead of their Wembley Stadium show.
Is that when his contract is up?
His contract is ends up right before that event. So
it's not that he's getting released on a no contest clause.
He's just
not going to sign nothing. He'll just walk. That's the thing.
Put Lex Luger, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash just walk on to the next thing.
And that's the thing.
That would put that could sink WWE's momentum if they do something if he does something like that, shows up on SmackDown, leaves. All right, guys, see you guys Sunday, and don't show up and pulls up to AEW.
Yes.
It's not like he's got under contract and gets released. Then he's got to file. He can get filed a no contest clause.
I'll be honest with you.
But he's a free agent. He's going to walk. If he walks, you can't do anything about it.
But if I'm him, I'm gonna play it exactly the way he's playing it. If this is all because if more reports coming out saying, AEW is interested, then I'm going to use that as leverage. I'm like, all right, so now it's like I'm going to demand even more from WWE.
Yeah.
So
you're going to give me what I want. What would you say? Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Yeah, his demands are easily going to get, are easily going to increase as time goes on. So
course.
that's why if I'm WWE, I lock him up right now ASAP, because the longer this takes, the worse it's going to get for WWE, because demands are going to go up, and the like money, and so we'll see what happens. What I think caught everybody but surprise was Mickey James. So if you, for those who don't know, Mickey James announced that she's not cleared for Impact Rebellion, meaning she has to vacate the Knockouts Championship.
Mhm.
Well, what do you guys
Um,
feel about that?
I thought that she was done after her last big match when she got the gold. I think this is her planning her departure altogether. I don't like. Maybe she still has it in her to wrestle, but I think like what's more left? She's done everything. What more is left for her to do other than mentor? Which she's done that mentoring already as is when she was in WWE.
I
Like
would say
what's
just
left for her to do?
Well, the
yeah.
rumor was a couple months ago is I heard her and her husband were offered. I forget who
Magnus.
posted it, but yeah, Magna. I heard they were offered deals to be in WWE as like part-time personalities on the air, but also coaches down in Florida for the wrestlers
So
to
is
which
that
they both want to do.
is that her move? Is that the game? I know they live in Florida, but is
Yeah.
that the game plan? That is that her thing? Is that what she wants to do? She wants to walk away for good. She wants to go into TV. Wants to go into whatever case may be. But she's done everything. Like she's done it all. So it's like
I just think if that was the move, they would completely write her out, like an injury angle, like an attack or
Well,
whatnot.
I mean, they sort of did because she dropped the title and she left her hat. She didn't have to leave the hat. She just left the title. So
Oh,
that's
that's
sort of,
true.
that's sort of,
I give I give it a month. Then you'll see an exact plan, maybe for Rebellion, after Rebellion, whatever the case may be, and
yeah.
we can run this back again and see how it's gonna pan out.
So
Because everybody, Henry, he loves swerves, and that's what everybody loves doing. He loves swerves all together. So it's like we'll see what happens.
yep.
Like I go lie when Mark Henry retired, or like when he quote retired, and John Cena came out. I love you, brother. And he drops him. I got more left in the tank. I was like, oh, let's go. And he lasted like 6 more months. But stuff like that, like you don't know what's gonna turn about.
Yeah.
So if Mickey
Yeah.
James, she might be saying she's done, and then she might catch somebody slipping,
And
who like we expect to see, and then boom, one more rivalry.
I believe, honestly, this is a blessing in disguise in a way, because it allows more up and coming knockouts to
Get a
shine,
shot.
and that's exactly what's happening, because now Jordan Grace and Deanna Purrazzo are going to battle it out.
Isn't her contract up soon, too? Speaking of contracts being up, isn't her contract up with Impact soon? And
Yeah,
it was rumored WWE was pushing heavily to get her back.
yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know, because I can also see AEW going after her, because obviously AEW's women's division. I've been very critical of AEW's women's division, but I can honestly say lately, it's gotten better.
I
It's gotten
think
better.
I'm going to throw this
Um,
out there before I know we move on, but I think AEW, yeah, that could be a possibility for her, but I think AEW has one other name in mind, especially for the pay per view coming up at Wembley, and obviously it's one of the bigger WWE names that's out there now, former WWE names that I think they have in mind for that. We all know who it is, Mercedes Monet. I think that's who they're trying to get for more
I,
than anything.
to be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, if I feel like I'll be more focused on locking her up for Forbidden Door. If I can
When is
lock
that,
her
June?
up,
End of
I
June,
have no
right?
idea.
I think
I
it's
don't
end
know
of
if they
June.
announced it, but anyway, like if I lock her up for Forbidden Door, then yeah, I have a higher chance of locking her up for the Wembley, stadium event.
I think, yeah, her contract is up with New Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. The end of April, I believe she's done all her obligations with that. So I could probably see her dropping the title
And to be
before
honest
then.
with you, that's not a bad match. Mercedes Monet versus Jamie Hayter.
Or
Something nice.
or Mercedes Monet versus Jade Cargill to finally end the undisputed streak.
Oh yeah, true.
So
Actually,
it's a lot to unpack.
more
What will
sense.
lead to everything else?
Remember, she wants, like Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks, said, she wants to make a statement around the different promotions and be known. So, what better way to make a statement in your AEW debut than to win a title, number one, and to end the longest reigning undefeated streak in probably women's wrestling in a long time was Jade Cargill's.
That would be something.
So and that's a big old fuck you to WWE.
Mickey James is probably 50-50 being done, just to go back on it before we move on. Probably 50-50, I would say. If she goes to coaching, it's going to be WWE with her husband, maybe on air things temporarily
Magnus.
here and there, Magnus, because I know he's wanted to go to WWE for a while too. And they do coaching in Florida, where you said they live, B. So that could be the thing. Or she comes back, I could see her just putting over younger talent and just going that way. But we'll see.
Yeah. Now this is one of those segments that might take a while.
Uh-oh.
With a rumored
I told
with a
you.
rumored new AEW show on its way and a returning CM Punk.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Told you.
Let you go first with that, so go ahead.
That's all I gotta say.
I really, they want to shoot themselves in the foot. Go right ahead. You know, I get it. CM Punk is a new draw, but all right. Let me start with this.
He's a draw to the internet wrestling.
Let me
community.
start with
Go get your box, Soto. Or unpack this.
no. Like, let's start with the new whole rumored AEW show. They don't need another new show.
Rumor is it's going to be 2 hours.
Yeah,
So they're going to have
but they don't
two
need
2-hour
a new
shows.
show.
So I think this is Tony Khan's brainchild. I agree, especially on a Saturday, which is like a weird day. Like
No, honestly, for that they should just focus more on Rampage.
my thing is, hear me out. I know it's going to sound crazy. If you really want to go back into the wrestling wars of old, back in the day, if you're going to make a show for 2 hours, why not put it on Monday night? Maybe compete with the last hour of Raw, started like at 9 to 11. Last 2 hours of Raw.
Is that something AEW's ready to do though?
Or
They had
do
their
10
own
o'clock.
show.
Or do 10 o'clock. Do 10 o'clock to midnight and then see how it goes and then compete with the last hour of Raw. And then you have 2 hours of wrestling that are not, or an hour of wrestling that's not with Raw. See how it goes.
That's the only question now. Is that's what AEW wants to do? You got 3 shows now that you're gonna work with, and now one's gonna have to interlap with the other.
I mean, I don't think they should be making a show, in my opinion, I agree with Soto, just to cater to CM Punk. I mean, there's not really, from what I've heard from it, there's not really many wrestlers that want to work with him, including Jericho, even though CM Punk said he's willing to mend the bridges with Jericho and a whole bunch of wrestlers. I don't think any of them are really ready to mend the bridges with him. So you're going to headline a whole show on Saturday with CM Punk just because of the draw power? I think that's sort of silly thing to do. It's just my opinion.
WWE did it.
I just
Ring
feel,
of Honor did it.
I just feel like they're doing this whole 2
Yeah, but how
hour
successful
show,
was those Saturday shows, though, if you think about it, realistically?
Yeah, no,
I don't know if it was a Saturday show or not, but
but I just feel like they're doing this 2 hour. Well, it's all rumors, but I'm saying if they execute this 2 hour show, it's just to accommodate CM Punk, and
Stupid.
it's like you're doing this for one guy, really. I mean, listen, and that's not a knock to CM Punk. I like CM Punk.
too.
The wrestler, the person. I mean, I've never met him, but he seems like a cool dude. But I'm saying like, yeah, it just like I don't know. I feel like it's just the whole.
And that's the problem a lot of the wrestlers have with him. Again, what you said, like you hit the nail right on the head. You're going to make a whole show. And they said they want to use that show to showcase the wrestlers that are highly underutilized and stuff like that. We're worried
Which
about.
makes no sense. For that, you focus on Rampage.
Yeah, so we're worried about getting CM Punk back when you have wrestlers that are severely underused in your promotion right now as it is. You got guys who were over and they just disappeared off the face of earth, like Miro for one. That they have nothing to do with him. My man's just sitting and catering like he was in WWE. Like it's just you have so many wrestlers there as it is that are trying to get TV time and you're not doing anything with. Yeah, is it nice that you'll get him another show to do it? Yeah, but it should not be CM Punk being the headline of the show. It should be we're doing a new show because we want to get all of our wrestlers out there. Don't start it with we're doing a new show and CM Punk's going to headline it. I think that's a shitty way to go about it. Sort of shits on the wrestlers that are not being used. Nah, not really. Because the thing is, are you really going to get wrestlers that are going to be on board with the show? I agree with Soto. If you think about it, yes, CM Punk, the wrestler we were all fans of. He's a cool dude. But obviously a lot of the stuff, the antics he's done, makes him an asshole in the wrestling business as well. So, yeah.
But he's always been that, though.
Correct. But, like I said, last podcast, there comes a point in people's lives, everybody, us included, where you have to realize that something is not working and something I'm doing wrong is causing problems everywhere I go. He probably needs to look in the mirror and say, maybe I need to change something about myself, even if it's slightly, but change something different and do something different to get that negative stigma off him. Because right now the negative stigma is everywhere I go, I'm going to be an asshole and I cause problems and do this and do that. WWE, look what happened with him. He still don't want nothing to do with him. Yeah, he was back on that bullshit show they had on Fox, but it was associated with WWE, supposedly.
I was Fox.
And
Fox,
I go,
Fox took the bill, taking money.
But at the same time, just to come on his defense, I mean, WWE did do him dirty.
Well, yeah, look, I'm not going to knock him. WWE, they fired the man on his wedding day. Bro.
Yeah, if I was fired on my wedding day, I'm like,
come on, Henry. I
didn't say they're wrong. WWE
listen, but wouldn't you be spiteful though? I'm not married. I don't have. I don't have a family. I got my parents. Right? So the same thing. I ask you, for example,
who fired him though?
Whatever personality you are, right? This, that, and the third. You have your way going about business. You make your job good money, whatever the case may be. Good, bad, or indifferent, you figure it out. And if he was that bad of a head case, they would have cut ties with him, which WWE's known to do. They cut ties with a lot of people out of nowhere. We kind of find what goes on after the fact. Yeah. On your wedding day, after you do what the company tells you to do, although albeit you go against it sometimes, you still follow through with the plans. And it's still a draw.
So my question is,
it's still a pull. And all of a sudden on your wedding day, you get a FedEx urgent mail call sent to you. Hey, Henry Cruz, guess what? You're fired. How are you going to react?
Yeah, I know. I get that. But I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying? So he could choose to be that because they did that to him. I was the same thing. I'd be spiteful as shit. You're going to fire me on my wedding day.
That's the question I want to know. Was it Vince that fired him? Was it Triple H that fired him? Or was it
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who. Vince is the owner of WWE, and Triple H is the COO.
It's a combination of both.
The top 5 in the company went down and looked for you and fired you after they burned you on TV. Went through all those matches that you didn't have to go through. There was no reason why Punk had to go against Triple H. But guess what happened? And he got buried.
By Stephanie McMahon on TV a lot.
But they used that. The same thing with Austin and Vince. I thought for years that Austin and Vince, they like each other. No. That was like, yo, you're going to talk so much shit to me. And then what's going to happen is you're going to go over every time. I'm going to make sure I put you back down and get you back over again. And that's what they built Austin. Not saying that Punk is Austin, because they're not. They're two different people. No. Similar, similar direction and path. But nowhere near, we're talking about, we're going to talk about Punk being Austin, just for the correlation, just for context.
Yeah.
But Punk's always been this way. That's his personality. Yeah. And he always got a job, whether it lasts long enough than we expected, whether it was whatever the term was, he's gotten a job. He got paid well for it. So
I think he just needs to change his mentality a little bit, honestly.
He's not going to. He's damn near 50. 40, 45, 50. Either way, he is who he is.
Yeah.
At some time in our life, we have to, as you said, get changed. But after a while, we are who we are. Soto's who he is. I'm who I am. You are Henry. So Punk is coming back after being gone for a while, which rightfully deserved. And now he's coming back. Everybody's tired of Rampage and Dynamite. So you're going to put the biggest name you have left on the board and throw him right on top. This is the guy who's going to be heading the show. And then as happened with Jericho, when Jericho first came in, he was the guy, and slowly he's taking step backs and step backs and step backs
But Jericho
and has
don't
put
mind
people
doing
over.
that. Jericho don't mind doing that though. That's one thing I always like.
That's the thing. Maybe it's can't. We don't know how the terms of the contract went, or what the negotiations were. But Punk's gonna be the face there. He's gonna win obviously, and then as time progresses, he's gonna slowly teeter back and teeter back, and then those who come up, whoever it may be, will go up and go over, and then Punk goes off his merry way. It's like, yo, do you want to wrestle or not? He wants to wrestle.
Well,
Maybe he doesn't want to wrestle. He wants to get paid, whatever the case may be. Either way,
he wants to make.
know.
He's ready to make amends. The Elite, we're not sure if they're ready.
Yeah.
I think Kenny Omega is more willingly to accept the apology and move on. The Young Bucks, it's another case. And then Jericho has said
Omega's older too. So
Jericho has said a couple of things in regards to CM Punk. So
you put a meme up of the picture of him, like, yeah, one person I'm not willing to work with.
you have that ego, and Jericho is heavily involved, but it seems like all indications are that CM Punk is going to return to AEW.
Love it.
It's a matter of when and a date that people have said to look out for,
And to a capacity.
is June 21st, because that is an episode of Dynamite which will take place in Chicago. So look out for that. And yeah, now it's whether CM Punk can make amends with the higher ups. I mean, obviously Tony Khan would love to have him back, but Tony Khan is split right down the middle with the Elite on one side and CM Punk on the other side. So
As he should be, because he should be picking sides anyways. He is the owner of the company.
but he has picked sides before.
And that's the problem. He has to come to resolve. And he looks like he's done so. He's split down the middle, and hopefully he stays that way.
He needs to get them
And
in a
now
room.
it's you guys come together and break bread. Make peace and call it a day.
Because before
I need to
it
make money
kinda
at the end,
seemed-
no matter what.
Before it seemed like he was on leaning towards CM Punk's side, because if I have a wrestler talk like that in the media scrum, like, my responsibility is to cut him off and be like, this is not the time and place,
Yeah.
and move forward. But nevertheless, and then what's interesting is that Omega and the Young Bucks are due for new contracts at the end of this year, so that's something to keep an eye on. And again, a lot of people don't expect Omega and the Young Bucks to go anywhere, but the same was said about Cody, so we'll see what happens.
And they said, and the whisper and the chatter of Kenny Omega finally going to WWE has been getting louder than it ever has been over the years. This year,
Yeah,
So,
and I know Omega. Like I'm not gonna say that I know for 100% because nobody knows what Omega's thinking, but Omega. But I feel like deep down inside, Omega's like, maybe
Maybe it's time.
maybe it's time. Maybe for a run. Look at AJ Styles.
that would be if they get. If
He was
WWE
he
managed
was
to
an
pull
indie guy
Kenny Omega-
forever.
If they manage to pull Kenny Omega, that is a AJ Styles level signing.
Oh yeah, and it has to be. To be honest, it has to be at the end of the year. They have to lock him up because, like you just said a couple of minutes ago, Omega's up there in age. He's pushing 40.
Yeah. But I think he has a lot of dream matches. Omega he wants to do, and a lot of the dream matches are WWE wrestlers. So
Yeah. We move on to FTR signing a new multi-year deals with AEW.
Another group of guys at back. They'll be with the show as well.
Last contract for them, they said they're going to retire after that.
Yep. They revealed that they signed 4-year contracts, and after those 4 years are up, they will retire.
They've come a long way.
Yeah.
So if this is the last hurrah, you're gonna see a major push, and then they're gonna start giving back probably the back half of that contract. So at some point you're gonna see a major push, probably a record broken possibly, and then it's okay. Well, let's hand this off to somebody else, and then go on from there.
And they're gonna be real. I think they're gonna be a real critical piece of CM Punk's return or not, because they've been backing CM Punk for the longest, and they want to team with CM Punk, and that's not a bad idea, having them three together go after the trios titles at some point. I mean, it's a good thing AEW has locked them up, because they are one of the most talented tag teams out there. So That was a good sign for AEW. A better signing, for FTR getting paid, getting all that money, and then obviously what led to them re-signing was, a lighter schedule and probably more money.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure they got a part time. I'm sure they got
but
like a heavy part time schedule with
yeah, because I
obviously this
mean,
thing.
I think one of the biggest clauses were spending time with family, so lighter schedule.
Yeah.
One thing that was interesting in the episode of AEW Dynamite was the introduction of Bullet Club Gold. Now, I don't know where this is gonna go, but you can assume that we're gonna start seeing new members, uh, week in and week out.
Probably.
Uh, Bullet Club Gold.
And
I,
there's supposed to be turmoil.
to be
See how that
honest with
turned
you,
out.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, kind of like Civil War
That could be the
Forbidden
turmoil right
Door.
there. Yeah. Bullet Club
At
Gold versus
Forbidden
Bullet Club.
Door,
Yeah.
And it's all for the draw.
yeah. So obviously the two members are Juice Robinson and Switchblade Jay White. So, which kind of means I think what Jay White would be the leader, and Juice Robinson would be like the co-captain. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, what possible members show up. If there is a member that you would like to join Bullet Club Gold, who would it be?
Shit. Uh, the history, just
Well,
realistically.
yeah.
Well, we know Kenny Omega's not joining them. He was with them already, so I don't think
Juice and
that.
Jay.
Um, it would have to be
I don't know.
somebody that's not involved in anything right now,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody who's not involved in any group.
Somebody who fits that mold of Bullet Club Gold.
I got a name. I got two names that haven't been used in a while, and just to give them storyline purpose because they haven't been used in a while. And I don't know if one of them will be, or one or both would be heading back to WWE at some point, but just for storyline purposes, Andrade would be
Really?
one. Yeah, think about
Yeah, I
it.
don't know. I have an option.
They have a mix of different people in there. So Andrade would be sort of like the luchador in the group, and then you could sort of get Miro as sort of the muscle. So think about Miro's big dude.
I don't know. I feel like there's just no turning back. There's no hope for Miro and Andrade. To be honest, I feel like they're just gonna ride their contracts and then they're done.
I think they go
And
back to
to
WWE.
WWE Andrade goes.
Yeah, Andrade desperately wants to go back to WWE.
Well,
And
He
he
then
might,
fucked up. Another one. I want to
and
leave
then
here and go back. Well, look what happens.
Miro's
What goes
right
down.
behind him.
well,
Miro's right behind him.
well, Andrade's wife is there, so I can see that I can see happening. If Miro goes back to WWE, that means Lana comes back too, because he's not going back without her.
No, it's a dub. Well, Miro not really, but Andrade was like, "Oh, I'm leaving here to go back here," and then I caught up in an even worse situation than it was before. Damn, bro, it's over. Now you're about to be a muscle for Charlotte when you get back, and then you're gonna go and try and get a couple belts and just get the 2 towers of power going. But for
Yeah.
Miro, I don't know what Miro's gonna do. Rusev
Yo.
Mania is where it's at.
I have a going back to the Bullet Club Gold. I have a good member that you can probably add to that.
Oh,
Adam Cole
yeah. He has history with them.
has history with Jay White. He has been in Bullet Club.
And speaking of history, since Adam Cole was a name that you tossed out, I'm gonna toss out another name that I don't think he's ever been involved in them, but he's a big guy and would be interesting with them. Keith Lee.
Keith Lee.
That's something interesting.
Yeah.
And
How about you, B?
yeah.
I have no idea. There's too many options. One seems logical, one isn't logical. I would see Keith Lee involved in a big storyline. Would be kind of nice. At the same time, I don't know.
Well,
Adam
I
Cole
mean,
makes
it
sense.
it seems like Keith Lee is running it back with Swerve, with Swerve.
That's cool.
So,
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
No, maybe
I don't know.
maybe Swerve gets involved with Bullet Club. But at the same time,
That
it's like,
makes sense. That
probably
makes
not.
sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Swerve makes sense. And then last topic to close out the episode is Jeff Hardy's shocking return.
I'm gonna say this right now. I know one of you guys did it. One of you two did a Swanton bomb onto your beds when the return happened, because I did it.
I don't know. Anything.
God bless Jeff Hardy. Listen, the man's been through a lot. So to see him come back, I'm not really like that much hype that he's back, like back wrestling. I'm glad he's back healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Got a new
he's
tattoo,
been
too.
through a lot of shit, a lot of dumb shit, you know.
my
But the
thing
fact that
is,
he's
how
back on
long?
TV,
How long?
Yeah, that's the scary part
no
about
matter
it.
how long, man, at this rate, you know, just as long as he's healthy, just stay
Well, yeah,
healthy. If
it has
it's
to
No,
matter
not
how
that
long.
long,
I
it's
say
long,
how
then
long because this is not the first rodeo. This is
it's like
like,
the 10th.
so it's like how long can
Yeah.
he be healthy? Can
I'll
he
live in
stay
the moment.
clean?
He's healthy now. Let's
Mhm.
keep it that way until he's not healthy, whether it's he's retired or not, and then he's got to
Yeah.
resolve himself from that point forward. But he's back healthy. He's back he's back at it again. And I kind of figured, like, once Matt came out and Matt got beat up again, I was like, oh man, all right, Jeff should be back this week. You know, and then it actually happened. I didn't believe it because
Rumors kill everything, man. I'm telling you,
Yes.
rumors because
you saw it happen. It was too easy of a walk up.
Yeah,
once
not
everything
only
started,
that.
I was like, yeah, Jeff's coming right now.
Yeah, no, not
Minute
only
goes
that.
by.
Like Matt said in an interview, my brother's good. In other words, that he'll probably be ready in like 6 to 8 weeks, right? So then we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then shortly after that, they're like, oh, Jeff Hardy's rumored to be on this episode of Dynamite. Oh, Jeff Hardy is backstage. Oh, so then it's like, all right, so then Jeff Hardy's coming out.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like, I don't really care for him to be that bit of wrestler. As long as he's healthy, that's all that matters. If he's not healthy tomorrow, he's not healthy tomorrow. But he's in the he's back. He's back in the shine. He's back on TV. He looks great. So just stay healthy. That's all. I'm gonna enjoy it now until it's not happening anymore. Maybe he walks up in retirement. Maybe this is his last run.
I wonder if whenever his contract's up with AEW, if he signs like a one short-term deal with WWE to go out.
How is he gonna retire though? Probably him and Matt. He wouldn't go out by himself.
Well, they both mentioned they want to retire in WWE. They said that in the past.
I think it'll be like a Hall of Fame kind of thing, like a Legends deal kind of thing.
Well, they can make appearances and still wrestle too. Remember,
Yeah,
Jeff Hardy didn't go out on the best of thing with WWE last time because of what he did, but he admitted that he was wrong what he did.
Yeah.
So I mean, WWE just had to do.
But I mean, see, here's the thing. Like, they might, finish in WWE, but I think the end goal here is to have at least one run at the AEW tag team. They've been tag team champions everywhere they've been, except for AEW. They've done it in Ring of Honor, the WWE and Impact. Now it's AEW. I think it's gonna happen. They're gonna get at least one title reign as AEW tag team champions, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I think that they pretty much deserve that. I agree with that.
Just go out on a bang. Go out. It's like, all right, cool. We're seeing the end of the road. Again, we spoke about a lot of different wrestlers. We've seen a lot of wrestlers show up with the debuts, show the departures. We grew up on Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. So it's like, to finally see them actually go off into the sunset is like, all right, cool. This is nice. It's a nice, I wouldn't say time for waterworks, but it's a nice heartwarming feeling because we've watched the growth, the rise, the fall, the resurgence, the fall again, and now the rebirth of Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. You know, in various parts of their careers in a variety of ways.
That was well put.
So hopefully this is like we get a good 6 months of healthy Jeff and Matt. Matt more so physical wise, Jeff more so mental and drug wise. And then if their contracts go out, at the end of the year, whenever they do end up close out and they end up with WWE for, Survivor Series, they show up and then they show up for the Rumble and then they compete for a tag team thing and then, end up losing at Mania, putting somebody over at Mania, whatever the case may be. And then that weekend they both get retired the same night. You know what I'm saying? Like, just there's a lot of options to it. We can honestly say for like 20 minutes and decide like how would you go about booking Matt and Jeff and WWE's return, post contract, when does the contract go up? When does it start? When does it end? Do they retire at AEW and then show up to like, hey, celebrating Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, and they get attacked? Boom! Here comes another 3 months
honestly,
back and forth.
I honestly believe they end their wrestling careers at AEW, and then obviously, like, within maybe a year or two or longer, we'll get that Hall of Fame introduction and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to see. Maybe they get a retirement match there, maybe not, whatever the case may be. As long as once they bow out gracefully. Especially Jeff. Matt physically has been beat up bad over the years. Jeff, obviously has other non-physical related issues he's dealt with. So as long as they go out in a great way, that's all that matters. And I'll keep on Swanton bombing everybody I see because of Jeff. Twisted face because of Matt, so on and so forth. As we wish for them to bow out gracefully, we shall bow out gracefully ourselves for today, because that will do it for today's episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in week in and week out, showing us love, hearing us out, listening to our takes, so on and so forth. We love doing this. This is fun, as always.
We also got to mention we changed a couple of our socials. Twitch, we're now completely branded with Sunset Flip Wrestling Pod at Twitch. That's an important one because we were actually doing it from Soto's personal account, but now we actually have our own handle, so we're good with that. Also,
taking the words right out of my mouth.
Our Twitter handle has changed from Flip Wrestling to Sunset Flip WP at Twitter. For those who don't know, we have kept our Facebook, Instagram handles the same. If anybody wants information, we can go to our link tree for all our social handles. That's the best way we do it. Best way to say it. Our link tree has all of our socials there. And we also have a new YouTube page as well, which we are going on as well, which is Sunset Flip Wrestling, with the new logo, which on the top right-hand corner of our screen. My finger got pointed this way, the other way, but that's a...
Yeah, for me it's to the right.
I had to point this way because on my screen it shows. Well, yeah,
we'll figure it out. See when we talk about swerves, like I said, way to swerve me, Henry. We are live.
You know what Henry did real quick? You remember when Jeff Hardy was about to do the concerto to Edge, and then just Matt Hardy just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's literally what just happened just now. Like, damn. Let me get a bit of control of this here. You can tune in on us on all our streaming platforms. We are live on Apple, Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Cast. You name it, we're on it. One day we'll hit Westwood Radio. One day. We are live on Podcasters, formerly known as Anchor. If you guys want to use any type of podcasting whatsoever to start your own joint, Podcasters free and easy. All you need is your email. We are also going to be doing all work on StreamYard. If you guys don't know what StreamYard is, it's a nice, low cost effective and easy way of going about your business and how you set everything up. For a small nominal fee, you will be able to start your own streaming service and have your own thing going for your podcast. Like Henry has for his podcast, how we have for our podcast. It's fairly quick and easy. So go ahead, use StreamYard, use Zoom if you want to use that. Use Podcasters, or you can use your email and everything else you need. It's going to be fast and easy. and you can start just like us. So, till then, folks, I'll catch y'all next time. I have a Knicks game to get ready for. Game 1 in Cleveland. Let's go, Knicks.
Rough.
I don't know what y'all doing the rest of the day, but I'll be watching my team win.
Yeah, I'll be watching the Knicks game, and I'll probably be home all day. Probably play some Call of Duty, some MLB The Show. I mean, I've been working for 2 weeks straight, so I'm actually off today and tomorrow, which I love. So I'm gonna chillax.
The weather's go outside, so though the weather's too nice.
Hell no! I'm gonna like be in a little dark room, underneath the blanket, watching shows all day, or playing games all day.
Go outside and touch grass. It's nice out. It's beautiful. Get a tan. Get a nice tan.
The real quick, the character from Benchwarmers who's afraid of the sun. Yeah, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me.
I thought about that too. I was like, he gonna say Benchwarmers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm on the way to Queens now. I'm about to go we're going out. I'm picking you up.
I bet.
So, hey, what you got going on?
I'm just gonna be doing stuff in the house because it looks like it's gonna rain any minute over here.
Go outside, get around the rain, man. You too. Go touch grass. Go do something.
I work.
Yeah, we got stuff to do before the game, baby.
I touched enough grass yesterday. I worked and I went out yesterday. So I'm good.
All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Until next time.